afternoon. This is the knitting news from Knit Happens Teesside for Thursday the 24th of October 2019. Well, at Thursday on knitting, Maggie did that thing again where she keeps swapping her projects. I think actually she's addicted to Fair Isle. So if she comes to doing something that's a little bit more straightforward, like stocking stitch or garter stitch, she gets a little bit bored. So she had a green project out for about 15 minutes, I think. And then it changed into her Fair Isle sweater off last year's Shetland Wool Week Annual, which is grey and yellow, and she's doing intermittent spots. So she's putting spots on, I think it's about every 10 rows, I think she said it was, because it's quite fine. Andrea has completed her Birds of a Feather shawl. So it's took her about 3 weeks, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And actually, I think it's going to take me about 3 years. What with other things. But it's lovely. And it was good to see it finished because you could see the way that the increasing and the decreasing was shaping the shawl. And I can see what's going to come when I get on with mine. Sarah was crocheting away. She's got a few different colour themes on the go. I don't know if she's got a few blankets on the go. And she keeps trying them with like slightly smaller hooks to get a better size and a better result. They're always quite elaborate. Really lovely. Now, Andy. I was doing this after I've had a busy weekend is a little bit like the Generation game. You know, where they had the conveyor belt and all the gifts going, and whichever ones they remembered they could keep, they got to take home with them. Well, I don't get to take anything home, but sometimes I have to really think hard about what people were doing. And I was thinking, what was Andy doing? Couldn't think what she was doing. And then I remembered. She was knitting with a wool round her neck. I just pictured her. And there it was, this picture of her with a wool round her neck. It's sort of like I've got this blanket round my neck. This is Oliver's blanket that I made a few years ago, and it's wearing well. And it's fleecy lined. Because it's got a little bit cold, and it was just hanging about, so I thought I'd show it off. Andy. Now it's purling. A purling style from another country. I can't remember what country it was. I should have remembered which country it was, but I haven't. Or I should have looked it up online. Thank goodness for YouTube for knitting techniques. Anyway, it was one of her many varied techniques for making purling continental style a little bit more doable or less motionful. So she was doing a lot of purling. I don't know if it was completely purling or a bit of purl and a bit of knit. That's my heater. Don't need to listen to that as well. It's not actually that cold. I'm just being ridiculous. Anyway, she's doing a lot of purling, and it's a cardigan, I think, that has quite a sort of an obscure shape. Sort of not your standard cardigan with your back and your front, 2 fronts and your 2 sleeves. But it will have all of those, but it's the way it's constructed is different. And I think she has altered it also. So, and I don't know if it's all purl stitches, but there was quite a lot of purl stitches going on. Right, so Petrina is working on her delft blanket, and she only has about 3 or 4 rows of the second to last motif to do. And, well, she's probably done more than that by now. And she did tell me that, you know, how awful it is sewing ends in. Well, she took it to the pub. She did sew some ends in at the pub, which is a very good idea. Today I have lemon green tea in a nice mug. But it's a bit hot. yeah, so there's always a way to sew in your ends in a less boring manner. But there's only so many places you could take it with you. Anyway, I think Petrina's pub is quite accommodating, things like that. There's pubs and there's pubs. I was working on my sweater with the waves. I might be wearing it next week, and or if I'm not, I might be wearing it the week after. It's called Eventide, and I have done the back. I've done all the waves, joined it together, gone up to the armholes, gone up to the back neck, and done my shoulder shaping on the back. And now I've picked up the stitches on the front, and I'm starting to work up the front after the armholes. So it shouldn't take too long, and it's only garter stitch. So just before, I was changing my printer ink. I did go to the shop to buy some, and they were selling printers cheaper than my cartridges, so I didn't buy the cartridges, and I did toy with the idea of buying a printer, but then if I'd have bought the printer, I would have had to buy the ink for the printer also, and they didn't sell copy ones, because I think my printer's going to be obsolete, and they didn't sell black ones individually, so I thought I'll buy some ink. So I bought some ink instead, and I've just done that, and it was successful, but my fingers are stained, but it's just a stain. I don't think it'll come off on the knitting, hopefully not. More news, maybe next week.